alignment is a huge deal for that. Body alignment is a huge deal for making sure that your lungs expand. Okay? The next thing that we're going to talk about in regard to breath and slipping into the next concept is breath intake. This muscle right here is called your diaphragm. We talked about how big your lungs are. We talked about how high your lungs are in your body. Your lungs, the air drops into your lungs. The lungs trigger then this muscle into action. Here are some more shots at how big this muscle is. That muscle sits in your body like a dome or an upside down bowl. If I were to take that muscle out of your body and lay it on the piano, it really truly would be about this big and about that thin. There's an exhibit that travels around to different science centers called Visual Body, Visible, I can't remember, but it's, have you guys seen it? The real bodies, Body Works, World Works. Have you seen it? Did you guys, when it came here, did it have the singer yet? The singer was just added like in the last couple of years. I just saw it last summer with the singer added. It was so cool because you literally got to see the diaphragm. The singer is standing like this, and it looks like he must have been holding some music or something. His lungs are raw, and his diaphragm is all the way down and descended. If I would have taken that sucker out and like played frisbee with it, it was like that big and like that thin. It was so cool to see, and I wanted so badly to break the rules and take a picture of it, but I didn't because I was afraid I'd get kicked out. But you know, if you've seen that before, how they have all over the place, no flash photography, whatever. All right, so the diaphragm is this muscle right here. Will you guys stand up? We're going to feel the diaphragm muscle working in your body. So find your ribs, trace your ribs, trace your ribs, trace your ribs until you come right here to the point where your ribs come together. Awesome. Now make sure that you're standing with amazing body alignment. Your shoulders are back and down because we're going to want to get those lungs totally full of air so that the diaphragm will trigger down and do its job. So fingers are here. Shoulders are back. Blow out all your air. Blow it out. Blow it out. Blow it out. And open. Good. Now, always have much more of an issue with this with my guys than I do with my girls. But gals had an issue with it too. Guys never want to totally give up control. To just trust your body and open your throat. I want you to do a science experiment with me right now. You guys, when I said, okay, open your throat, most of you inhaled a breath. I want you to try to just let the air drop in. All right, so put your fingers back here. Blow your air out. Blow it out, 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 blow it out. Now, when I do say that, and you can breathe whenever you need to as a sick person. Okay, and open. Right? Good job, you guys. Did you feel the difference when you just allowed that air to drop in? And did some of you feel your fingers something pushing against your fingers? That truly was your diaphragm. That was your diaphragm as it descended and spread. You would have been able to feel it on the inside of your body. All right? Let's do that one more time. Blow your air out. And again, I don't want you to take a breath. I just want you to trust your body and open your throat. And go. Awesome job. Good job. Let that out. Now we put a hand here and a hand here. Take a nice high breath into your hands and go. Hold that. Do you feel all the muscles and all the tension in that? Let go of that. Not to say that that's where you were breathing, because I didn't notice a ginormously high breath in the room. I also didn't notice a low breath in the room. I noticed kind of a shallow breath in the room. Okay? So, will you put your fingers here again? Trigger that muscle into action. And open. Awesome. Will you put a finger here, or hands here and hands here? Okay. Blow your air out. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart like an athlete. And breathe down into your body and go. And exhale again. Good job. And open. Nice job. And exhale. Cool. Will you now, with that nice slow breath, blow your air out. Blow it out, blow it out, blow it out, blow it out. And open your throat. I was curious to see what was going to happen in the room. Because I'm getting a sense of, from the guys, like, no, seriously, lady, we already know this. But when I went to do a bunch of scales back to back, there was a lot of high breathing in the room. From the back of the room, gals, did you see a lot of upper bodies go, hello, hello? As soon as we started to do the scales, guys, watch this instead. Wrap your brain around this instead. Now, also, you guys might be going, well, this isn't, no, we want to get to other stuff. We want to get to the power, we want to get to the vowels, we want to get to all, give me another couple minutes of helping you build this, and then you're going to understand why I'm taking my time on it, okay? So, hands here, watch me. See-oh-ee, see-oh-ee, see-oh-ee. So in between each scale, I just open my throat, my ears just drop back in, drop back in, drop back in, okay? Will you try that? Instead of taking a breath between each scale, now you're just going to trust your body and open your throat. All right, here we go. You're going to open into your hands. Open low and open. See-oh-ee. Nice job. See-oh-ee. Open. See-oh-ee. 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 What's your name?
Austin.
Wow, that was a massive, that was a great transformation. Was your brain just going, okay, open, open. That was so cool to see. Wow. All right, will you guys do that one more time? Here we go, blow your air out. And open. See-oh-ee. 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 We're gonna talk more about backspace, but if I'm gonna go anywhere with the guy's tone, I'd like to add a little bit of bite to your sound. Do you know what I mean? To give you a little bit more energy in the tone. But like I said to the women, during the breath intake is when that backspace truly opens up. You guys feel to me a little bit, men, like you're singing in your backspace. And I'd like to get you wrapping your brain around the idea of singing with your backspace instead of in it. Do you know what I mean? I had a vocal coach once who used to say to me, Dina, there are 3 ways out of your face with your sound. The front steps, the spiral steps, and the back steps. The front steps are where we definitely want to feel all the forward resonance in the sound. I used to tell my singers when I taught high school to open the back door and then leave out the front. So, see-oh-ee, see-oh. You can hear that I'm aiming my sound that way, but you can also hear that I have a lot of backspace, right? Will you guys edge your chair and say radio, TV, broadcast voice?
Radio, TV, broadcast voice.
Good. Do that again. And
radio, TV, broadcast voice.
Good. Now, will you radio, TV, broadcast voice? Shush, shush, shush. That always makes girls go. Okay, will you do that again? Only will you feel some bite in the front of your face and go.
Radio, TV, broadcast voice.
Right? You just got way more bite in the sound, and the testosterone level in the room went. Okay? Go back to just backspace and.
Radio, TV, broadcast voice.
So, one of you said earlier that you guys last season got told the word dull. Yeah? Now, get your bite back in there and.
Radio, TV, broadcast voice.
That would not be dull, right? So we're gonna mess with that as we get into the tone part of the presentation. But before that, we have one more step to catch you up on, and then you will be on the same page with the women, and we can rock and roll. Okay? So, with me so far, the reason that I had to go so slow in building 1 and 2 was because of what we're about to talk about. And what we're about to talk about is the biggie. It's the key that a lot of choirs don't understand, and it's the reason someone in here said something about you guys getting, I think it might have been you, that you guys sometimes got in trouble for shouting. Okay, cool. This is the key to never getting that comment again, all right? So, not the national anthem. This is the key to that, all right? So, breath management, breath support. We have started talking about the diaphragm, and we started talking about getting the diaphragm to descend, okay? So this step is a biggie. You ready to review? Okay. There are 3 sets of muscles involved in this, all right? Your abs, will you point at your abs? A couple days ago in school, I accidentally said, "Show me your abs," to a whole group of guys. And they were like, "What?" It was 53 sophomore boys. And I said, "All right, show me your abs." And they were like, "Woo!" That's really not a good moment for me. So, show me, no, not show me. Point at your abs. All right, good. And your obliques. And your intercostals. Awesome. All 3 of those sets of muscles, you guys, your abs, your obliques, and your intercostals. I'm going to slow down and say the same thing I said to the women. The intercostal muscle is the muscle between your ribs. If you ever go to a restaurant and order ribs, you're eating intercostal muscle with barbecue sauce. I love it. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told the women, because this is how my brain works and who I am. I sit and peel away the barbecue sauce, and I dissect my ribs in the restaurant to look at the internal and external part of the intercostals, because I am so fascinated by this set of muscles. Isn't that gross? But now, welcome to my world. All right? So, all of these muscles, you guys, abs, obliques, intercostals, are all paired. There's an internal set and an external set. Will you play along with me for just a second? Sit on the edge of your chair, put your hands like this, and repeat this after me. And ladies, I want you to do all of this with, yeah? Because this was your massive turning point, yes? Yeah, no, it does not matter which hand is in front, you're right. It just matters that your palms are facing out. Okay? So you're going to repeat this after me. And ladies, now I do want you to repeat with. And the internal muscle is in charge of inhalation. And go.
The internal muscle is in charge of inhalation.
And your hands are going to go, hello.
What is that last word?
Inhalation. When you inhale for me, everybody in the room. That's called inhalation. All right? Put your hands here again. Can you guys scoot over? Can you scoot down, scoot over, scoot down, scoot over? You're welcome. Yeah, this is kind of a cool thing in the room. It creates some space that you can't really use, doesn't it? It's interesting. All right, your hands are here. Show me an inhalation. Show me what your internal muscles do. And now, the deal is, put your hands back to here when they're relaxed. What the job is and why they do this is to make room for the diaphragm to descend. So you're going to take a breath. I'm going to show you when that breath happens what your diaphragm does. So first, will you guys all do this? Be your diaphragm. Your diaphragm sits in your body like an upside down bowl. When your diaphragm engages, it goes, right? And it also expands. So not only does it descend, as it descends, it expands. That's why you could feel it. Make sense? All right, so you guys be your internal muscle. Inhale for me. Good job. Now, flip your hands around. The external muscle is in charge of exhalation, and the external muscle is in charge of exhalation. Exhalation. And go. Exhalation. Good job. So inhale for me, and exhale. And inhale, and exhale. Good. So you keep doing that. I'm going to show you what your diaphragm does. So inhale for me. Your diaphragm goes, hello. Then your diaphragm goes, oh, never mind. They're not going to use me. Hello, I get to work now. Oh, never mind. They're not going to use me. Right? It descends. It gets ready to do its thing. And then you say, nope, don't really need you. Does that make sense? Now, for singers, the thing that's going to get you the energy and the tone, and is never, ever, ever again will a judge be able to say to you, you sound shouty, is if you can keep your diaphragm down. That means that you have to go on to this space. It's called suspension. And you guys, I'm not making this up. It's not a trick. It truly is the science of how the voice works, okay? In vocal ped book after vocal ped book. So the suspension of the voice, the suspension phase in singing is this. The diaphragm muscle descends, and then it stays. And then the control release that I'm going to teach you in a second, the diaphragm comes back to rest, but it does it nice and slow. Okay? So, suspension phase. Guys, will you stand up? Actually, everybody in the room up. Everybody up. All right? So, you put your hands here. Open your throat. Those internal muscles make room for the diaphragm to descend, right? You're standing nice and tall so that the air drops into your lungs, and open and hiss. Good job. So stop hissing for a sec. So keep your hands here. The word suspension comes from this. You are suspending, flip your hands around, the contraction of the external muscle. You're suspending it. It's going to happen, but not yet. That's what suspending means. All right? So put a hand here and a hand here. That internal set of muscles suspends that action. So to feel the internal set of muscles, will you go, now when I do that, when I hiss and you see my abs working, and again, I use this word very lightly, I am pushing from the inside of my body out. So your hands are moving toward me. Okay, here we go. 4 hisses, and excellent, excellent. So every torso that I looked at was using the correct set of muscles. Okay, internal or the external set of muscles. I want you to feel that. So we make this noise go and go. Yeah, that was the external set of muscles. Okay, now Flip it around, show me the internal set of muscles again. Give me 4 hisses and go. Good job. Now I want you to give me 4, will you, will you stagger second row of guys so that I can lay my eyeballs on you too? Because some of you are standing directly behind the other guy. Perfect. Me in a window. Perfect. Love it when it's a show choir that actually knows what windows are, right? Okay, here we go. So will you do that again? And this time instead of 4 hisses, you're going to hiss for 4 sustained beats. All right, so here you go. Open your throat, let the air drop in. And hiss, 2, 3, 4. Good job. Did you feel that power coming from the inside of your body? Yes? Awesome. Now, will you switch to C? Watch it, watch. C. So that S is like that initial, God bless you. So you're here, watch again, and C. My internal muscles are doing all of that work, okay? Here we go. Open your throat. C. Watch again. C. Until your body says, I can't stay out any longer. And then it starts to come in. Does that make sense? Again, sorry for the repetition of the analogy, but I love the tidal wave analogy that I just read. So will you guys do this? I just recently read that the suspension is similar to a tidal wave. The movement goes like this, and then comes back. So there's an energy in it that goes, see. Be careful, like we were talking about earlier, of not going all the way to tsunami. See, right? You don't want to take your internal muscles and try to get them to explode out of your torso, right? But you want them to here. There's got to be an energy in it, but not so much that there's a forced, just that you're keeping your diaphragm down, right? Because that's the job of it. The job of it is this, right there. So the diaphragm is here. When the muscles go this way, the diaphragm goes, hello. And then when the muscles stay this way, the diaphragm goes, oh, yay! I get to actually stay down here and help you sing. Okay? Does that make sense so far? Will you show me a couple more times? So breathe down into your hands and open. So we suspend that contraction of the external muscle, right? We have to get in though. We have to come in this way at some point. We can't just stay expanded the whole time, right? That wouldn't make any sense. So when you come in, will you guys sit on the edge of your chair, edge of your chair? I want you guys to do this with. There are 3 sets of muscles involved in breath management. Your abs, your obliques, and your intercostals. Your abs, your obliques, I wish mine looked like that, and your intercostals. All 3 of those sets of muscles, your intercostals, by the way, are the muscles between your ribs. Like if you ever go to a restaurant and order ribs with barbecue sauce, you're eating intercostal muscle with barbecue sauce on it. So you know what muscle I'm talking about, and that I'm not making it up. Now, here's how weird my brain is. First, I love ribs. And anytime they're on menu, I order them. And I start looking at the muscle to see the thing. I do. You know I do, right? You know, you are getting to know me well enough to know I am so not making this up. Because what I'm about to tell you is that all 3 of these sets of muscles are paired. There's an internal set and an external set. I will sit and look at my ribs for the internal and the external set of intercostals. That's how sick my brain is. All right, so, okay. But you know, when you find a passion, when you find something, you're just like, I need to know everything there is to know about this topic. I know, it's weird, all right. So, all right, but love me anyway, yes? All right. So, all of those muscles are paired. Will you do this for me? And I'm going to have you sit, but I want you to sit edge of your chair. And you might want to, can you scooch down a tiny bit? Just a tiny. Just enough that you're going to be using your arms a little bit for this. Perfect. Okay. Deal? Cool. So, will you do this? Yeah. So your palms are facing me, and your arms are crisscrossed. The internal set of muscles sits on the inside of your body. The internal set of muscles are in charge of inhalation. Those of you that went to my session, you're like, I remember her saying this and making us say it over and over again, all right? Hands here. God bless you. Repeat this after me. Say the internal set is in charge of inhalation. And go. The internal set is in charge of inhalation. So the internal set literally goes like this in your body. Okay? Internal set's main job is to, now focus on the sense, to get everything out of the way so that the diaphragm can trigger down. So will you guys do this? When you show me this, I'm going to show you what the diaphragm does. So right now, when your internal muscles are just at rest, your diaphragm is at rest. Now you trigger your muscles and I'll show you what the diaphragm does. And go. Awesome. They work in tandem. Does that make sense? So the internal muscle gets everything out of the way so the diaphragm can descend. Makes sense so far? Awesome. The external muscle, will you do this so your palms are facing you? The external muscle is in charge of exhalation. And go. The external muscle is in charge of exhalation. So, to breathe for living, open your throat. Yep, so palms are facing me. And open your throat. The air drops in and exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Now, you keep doing that. I'm going to show you what the diaphragm does. Keep doing that and open. The diaphragm goes, yay, I get to play. Oh, never mind, they don't need me. Yay, I get to work. Oh, never mind. Darn it. Yay! Right? Does that make sense? And it totally makes sense why, right? Because as soon as those internal muscles aren't involved anymore, the diaphragm cannot stay down because the external muscles push it back to rest. How many of you are dancers? And how many of you dance in a studio? How many of you in that studio, as dancers, are told to hold your abs? Right? How many, oh, my track young lady just left. Track singers, well, they are track singers, are taught the same thing, to pull in their abs for cross country and for track, right? Same thing, it's the same concept. As singers, we have to allow the opposite to happen. And that's when show choir gets really interesting, because what are you guys doing? You're dancing. So you have to learn to dance with your torso, with those muscles still firing. And I promise you it's possible, and I promise you I'm going to give you tools to help it happen, okay? Before we leave here today, you're going to be like, I can do this, all right? But it's important. Now, external, internal, you got everything that's on this slide, true? So now I'm going to teach you the next phase. So we got the air in. As singers, there are two more phases that help keep the diaphragm engaged. The first one is called suspension. So, God bless you. Again, edge of your chair, hands here. You open your throat, you let the air drop in. For suspension, you stay expanded. Okay? And wrap your brain around this. What you suspend is the contraction of the external muscle. Show me the contraction of the external muscle. Now get your hands back here and say, we're going to suspend that. We're going to suspend that. That is why this is called suspension. Okay? You stay expanded with the internal muscle being in charge. Now I want you to feel that on your own body. So stand up. Put a hand here and a hand here. Let that air drop. Hand on your abs, hand on your obliques, and if you can get a hand on your intercostal muscles, or a couple fingers on your intercostal muscles, then you've got all three muscle groups. Blow your air out. Stand my eye woman, hear me roar, right? Because we're working breathing. Let that air drop in. And hiss, but stay expanded. 2, 3, 4. Good job. Now, this is where your power is. So now I want you to do this for me. With your hands in the same position, watch my abs. I want 4 power hisses, and I want you to feel, and I don't use this word very often, but when I'm teaching this, I want to make sure you get it. I want you to push your internal muscles out toward me. So your hand is going to go hello, hello, hello. Okay, here you go. Open your throat, let the air drop in, and power. Yeah, truly, if you are hooking into that power, it's going to be a big hiss in the room. Here we go, and open, and power, 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 power. Good job. Now, some of you feel that to the point where it was not comfortable, painful, like good, yeah? Okay, now take your fingers here. One of my favorite things I read about a month ago in my vocal ped book, my latest one, was that suspension is like a tidal wave. Will you show me a tidal wave? And right, there's energy in the tidal wave. The energy goes hello, and then it starts to relax again, right? It doesn't go like this. That's a tsunami, right? Right? Is that what that would be, right? Or a hurricane? Which is it? Whatever. The water one. Here, all right? We're not going to be a tsunami. That's a tsunami, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Tsunami, yeah, tidal wave.
Okay.
Tsunami is a tidal wave.
Tsunami is a bad tidal wave, though,
Right.
Okay, we don't want to be a tsunami, okay? We want to be just a normal, everyday, healthy tidal wave. All right? So here you go. And show me. So it goes, hello. Good job. Now, hand on your body, hand on your body. Now I want you to hiss 4 times. I want it to be energized. I want it to come from the center of your body. But I don't want you to go to the point where it feels like it hurts. However, I do want you to go to the point where you feel like you're having an internal athletic event. Do you know what I mean? All right, here we go. It's a really fine line. Are you feeling it? Open your throat. And that was outstanding. Now I want you to do 4 of those that are sustained. So your muscles are going to go, hello. Here you go. And open. And 2, 3. Awesome. You just did sustain. You just sang on the suspension, which was what I was trying to teach you. Now, before I teach you the second and last phase of that, let me hear you hook into this. You guys, you're about to experience, if this is like newer information to you, you're about to experience some really weird sensations. All of a sudden, your power source has changed from here to here. You're going to feel, truly after this hour, you're going to feel like you just did a bunch of ab workout. All right? So, now we're going to sing. And watch. Versus my power comes from, you know what I mean? Here we go. So, you ready to try it? Stand, I woman, hear me roar. Hand on your abs, hand on your obliques. Breathe down into your hands. Oh, and if you ever have been. I haven't talked to your director to know if that's a note that you get, but oftentimes on panels, that's what I hear judges throwing around. Oh my gosh, they were shouting at us. Well, you know what goes on my tape? Not stop shouting at us. What goes on my tape is, hey, you need to figure out your muscles of power. The muscles of power are those internal muscles. Give me a call, I'll talk you through it. Because stop shouting at me doesn't help. But do you feel the difference? Will you sing from here? So you're back to feeling something different than what you just felt here. And actually, will you point at your throat? And sing. And the other one, yes or no? I mean, I really want feedback for real from you. All right, cool. Have a seat. I have one last little phase to teach you, and then I'm going to give you a break. Deal? So there's this suspension, and then there's a controlled release. Edge of your chair still, because I still need you to play with me. Controlled release is this. A hand here. Stop in the name of love, right? This is the internal muscle. Put this hand here. This is the external muscle. Put this hand back. That is this hand. Remember? Put this hand back. This is this hand. Are you with me? Okay, so both muscles are now in play, and this external muscle gets to go ahead and contract, but this muscle is in charge of the speed of it. All right, so put your hand here, And you're going to come in towards your body, but I'm going to see resistance in both muscles. And go. Good job. Work it. Work it. Work it. Right. Okay, good. Now show me what would happen if you were not working from the inside of your body. If this muscle was totally in charge, it would look like this. Right? Stand back up. Put a hand here, a hand here. Make this noise after me. And go. Right? That was this. Right? Nothing happened internally. Good. Now put your hands here again. Go. And go. Good. Now I'm going to have you hiss for 8 counts. 4 of them are going to be this. 4 of them are going to be this. I will know, we will know in the room if you let this muscle take over, because your hiss will get wussy. You know what I mean? I'll hear a difference in the air pressure. Here we go. Let your air drop in. And hiss. 2, 3, 4, release. 2, 3. Oh, some of you did. Did you hear the air pressure in the room change? Don't let this muscle win. It's kind of like most of you had driver's ed? You know, they tell you to not have one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake at the same time. This is kind of like breaking that rule and having one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake at the same time. Deal? Awesome. Anybody have any questions? You doing good? All right, here we go. Open your throat. And 2, 3, 4, release. 2, 3, good job. Open. 2, and hiss. 2, 3, 4, release. 2, good job. Good job. Now we're going to sing. Watch. This. Did you see that I'm engaging right away here? This is a fine day. Fine day. You know what I mean? So this is a fine day. Wanna try? And this should come from your belly. This. Do that for me. This. Yep. So your little hands move out toward me and go and this. Keep your hands on your body. Move your hands toward me with the inside of your body and this. Good job. All right, here we go. And open. This is a fine day. Good. And this is a new vocalise for you, all right? This is a F-A-H, F-A-H, and then fine. Fine day. Deal? Here we go. And this is a this, because you get to go like this with your internal muscles. Right? That Tigger noise. And watch again. This is a not right? That nope, or One of my favorite phrases most recently was keep the breath in the body while the tone leaves your face. Isn't that awesome? That person was very smart. Don't remember who it was. Or I would tell you. But it wasn't me. Here we go. And open. This is a fine day. Yes. This is a fine day. Work it. This is a fine day. Yes. This is a fine day. Now, are you finding the temptation that you want to go like this? This is and then engage your muscle. always feel silly saying this, but I have just handed you a lot of power. You have to be very careful what you do with it. Because if you take what you just learned and you cross the line to that tsunami, you're going to create other problems for yourself that are going to also get your singing in trouble and get your ensemble in trouble. But have you noticed, just so far in the hour and a half that we've been working, first, everything that you said that you wanted to work on, we've kind of addressed all of them in one form or another. And have you especially noticed the blend and balance one? We didn't even need to talk about it, and it fixed itself. You sound like one powerful group of women right now. But when you first started singing, did you hear me say, I didn't say it very loud, so you might not have heard me, but did you hear me say, oh yeah, you do have some bigger voices in this room? Did you hear me say that out loud? I cannot tell who you are now, because you're all doing it. Is that the coolest? Awesome. So take a break. Any tricks? I have just been talking to you about the science, right? If you open and create that space, you've got space to resonate. If you allow the body as your instrument, right? I'm woman, hear me roar. The air will drop into those lungs. Now, here's another cool fact. The air goes into the lungs. The lungs trigger that diaphragm. We can't right now, we can't go like this and make the diaphragm go down. Do you know what I mean? We do not have control over that. We open our throat. As the air drops into the lungs go, oh hey, this feels good. Let's get more. And the diaphragm goes, and then more air is pulled into the lungs. So that diaphragm is an involuntary muscle. Makes sense? So air goes here, diaphragm descends, diaphragm pushes on all of your internal organs, which is why your torso goes, hello, right? It's because your diaphragm is squishing, that's a scientific term, your intestines, your stomach, all your internal organs are going. That is why I always get this, especially when I'm doing a clinic during the school day and it's morning. Many of you have felt this. Your director is working low breath and your body goes, whoa. Yes? And you go, what's wrong with me? Right? And I had a little gal yesterday that was like, my stomach is so loud when I breathe right that people look at me and inquire, and so I just don't do it. I'm like, well, baby, what do you do instead? I just go like this. I'm like, oh, that's sad. Take some Tums or something before choir, because you gotta learn to breathe. I mean, it's okay. It's okay to gurgle. You know, you should start every class by looking at your classmates and it's okay to gurgle. It's okay to gurgle. And then taking your breath. Do you know what I mean? It's just, okay, I'll stop being goofy and I'll get back to business. But does all this make sense so far? So key concept number one is that body alignment. Do you see why we as choral directors are so crazy about body alignment? I think you guys sometimes, I know my students sometimes just thought I was just being a control freak. Oh my gosh, we should just get off our backs. I don't feel like sitting up today. And practice makes permanent. Okay? Practice makes permanent. What do you do on a daily basis? Show me what your body does when you text. Show me what your body does when you're carrying your book, your heavy, heavy book bags down the hall. Show me what your body does when you're sitting in a desk doing that awful math homework. Right? Show me what your body does when you're driving. Show me what we are asking you to do as choral directors so that the air drops into your lungs. When do you do this? Never. You don't walk down the hall, hey, how are you? I'm fine. Right? I mean, you all get made fun of. But but not so obvious that your director knows you're doing it. All right, here we go. And did you feel that your diaphragm muscle is not triggered? Can you feel that? Let go of it. Can you also feel that when you take that breath that goes up into your body this way, you're creating some tension because those muscles, they're called the muscles of exhalation, have triggered. You took this breath, your body is going, I gotta let this go, I gotta let it go. Let's do that again and see if that's not true. And open. Do you feel it? That your body is, there's some tension up here that wasn't in the other science experiment. Let that go. Good. Now put your fingers here. Let's do the science experiment that drops your diaphragm down. Blow your air out. Open your throat. Did you feel that? And did you feel no tension up here? Yes? All right, and I need you guys, as we're doing this kind of work, bye.
Hi.
It was nothing they said, right?
No, I'm cross country.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So, I have no idea what I was saying, except for bye to our friend. All right, so let's do this again. Hopefully my brain will trigger back. I should have warned you I'm menopausal. All right, blow your air out. Slow down. I know, it's awful. It's awful. You just wait. And open your throat. Oh, that's what I was about to say. I knew it would come back to me, okay? So you put your fingers here and trace yourself to here. Put your fingers here and trace yourself to here. There's a set of muscles here called your strap muscles. Will you put your fingers on those strap muscles and take a high breath again and go. Did you feel what happened to the strap muscles? Will you put your fingers right here on your body? Take a high breath again. Do you feel what's happening to all of those muscles? They're all kind of catching, right? Now go all the way down here. Put a hand on your abs, hand on your obliques. Breathe into your hands. Open your throat. Let the air drop in and go. Nice job. And exhale. Deal? So, from now on, you're not going to take a breath in between these scales. You're going to sing. Watch me. I'm not doing or pretty soon I'm going to explode like a balloon that has too much air in it. Does that make sense? Do you want to try it? And if you were already doing it, do you want to practice it some more? All right, here we go. And open your throat. Let the air drop in and open. Fabulous. And now, one of the things that you guys said you wanted in your sound is more, oh, by the way, there's an amazing video called YouTube, 3dyoga.com, that just shows the diaphragm working. It's the coolest thing for science geeky people like me, but you guys might like it too, just because it shows that muscle. All right, so you guys said that you wanted more depth in the tone. More depth in the tone happens in this step. If you can breathe in your backspace, the reason that Wallert's O Fortuna was an absolute wall of sound every time they sang it was because they created their backspace before they sang. And then they sent their air out the front of their face because they had already opened their backspace. I had a coach say to me once, Dina, there are 3 ways out of your face with your sound. The front steps, the spiral steps, and the back steps. She was trying to get me to let go of this. I went through a phase in my singing where I sang into my backspace a lot because I thought that's how you created power in your sound. She was trying to get me to understand that yes, you keep backspace there, but you sing out the front. Right? The more power happens this way. So she was trying to get me to go out the front. I used to tell my students when I taught high school, especially my women, open the back door and then leave out the front steps. But open the back door before you leave. Do you know what I mean? So we're singing. You're going to go. But you're going to open your backspace first. And when you open your backspace, the air goes, hello, hello, every single time. It just drops in. You don't have to do anything to think about it. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a cool tool? Here we go. Stand like women. Rah. Good job. Open your throats. Let it drop in and open. Some of you are fading like little